All right. Good afternoon, Becky. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Thanks for hopping on with me this afternoon. I wanted to touch base a little bit about your previous work history. We chatted before this call. There's definitely a heavy background with human resources in your knowledge. So let's start off when you were with the bank as the human resource specialist. What did you do there on a day-to-day basis?
I processed all incoming applications, forwarded them to departments for interviewing processes. I've processed all of the personnel action forms into the system, so people would get a raise, their address change, their information into our payroll system. So we had checks and balances between HR and payroll.
Okay.
And then I did orientation, set up for events, those kinds of things.
Okay. And that was approximately roughly, you were dealing with about 530 people?
Correct.
Okay. And then you switched gears a little bit, going into the personnel analyst position. So with the city of Eureka. So what did you do there?
When I started out as a personnel analyst one with the city, I was the primary person for all recruitments that we did. That was, creating the job specs to advertising, processing the applications, getting them ready for oral interviews, scheduling and conducting the oral interviews with the team.
Okay.
And then just kind of learning all the laws, what goes into that, processing personnel action forms.
Okay. And then you moved up into the analyst 2 role.
Correct.
And was there any differences between the two positions, or was it pretty streamlined?
I kind of became the only analyst at that time, so I promoted up. So I took all of my analyst 1 duties to the 2 level, and then I also included with that ADA, workers' comp, some of the purchasing, double checking budget line items that folks wanted, making sure those were straight, keeping the org charts for the city done, and then just kind of odds and ends amongst that. And then, of course, covering for our admin tech position, since there was only 3 of us in the office.
Okay. And then again, you promoted within City of Eureka as the senior personnel analyst. So you were overseeing the daily operations there. How many people were you overseeing?
But technically just our technician, our admin person, because there was only 3 of us in that office. But I also took on assisting with labor negotiations with the director, and then continuing with the class and comp.
Okay. Awesome. And then most recently, you were in human resources for many, many years. So County of Humboldt. So you were kind of that HR liaison there. I know there's a lot that's involved in this particular position, but can you just kind of give me a brief overview on what you had your hands in and what you did?
For the first year and a half that I was there, I did all of the recruiting, the oral interviews, A to Z on that process. That included written and oral exams. And then from there, these kind of, things came apart. I became they grew. So I ended up being the ADA person for the county at that time. And then I did all FMLA, CFRA, for all employees as well, and continuing to process all personnel action forms, everything pretty much A to Z. And then I oversaw, they kind of changed it a little bit more, and they changed it to departments instead of countywide as we got new analysts into the office. Okay. So then I oversaw 14 of the 21 departments for the county. And that included, everywhere from class and comp, creating the specifications, researching, compensation for that, and then, all recruiting for my departments, all processing of any and all paperwork, promotions, overseeing evaluations, making sure that those are correct and by law. And then, we had projects off of that. So any new SB laws that came through, those had to be researched, and then policies had to be created for those. So those kinds of things all took place.
Okay, awesome.